Hello and welcome to Earth Trifle. I thought this might be kind of an interesting video in that in France the responsibility for recycling is very much put onto the people creating the waste in the first place. What I mean is the people buying the rubbish in the supermarkets and chucking the rubbish in the bins. Well, there's lots of things that we're not allowed to put in our bins in France because we do have wheelie bin collection, what have you, but because we make a conscious effort not to buy, crap basically in plastic packets and stuff like that, because we didn't used to have bins at all. We have now, but we didn't used to have a wheelie bin, so we have to be very conscious of the fact. But here in France, they do put, like I say, a lot of the onus on the individual, but they do provide loads of these, like recycling banks like this one. And when I say emballages, I mean like plastic bottles and stuff like that. There are obviously restrictions what you can put in there, but like the cartons for your orange juice, your tin cans and what have you, and plastic bottles and detergent bottles and what have you, stuff like that. All that stuff can go into these bins. And not only that, we also got going the back. Oh my gosh, when you find all the rubbish on the floor. So that's emballages. More emballages. There's lots of bins for emballages because it's probably the biggest source of waste. Actually, maybe not. Actually, it's probably bottles of wine, wine bottles and beer bottles. Well, there's only 2 bins for that, so it ain't quite so bad compared to 4 for emballages. Nice thing, obviously, about the recycling the glass, you can recycle pretty much 100%. Apart from obviously the labels and stuff like that, just end up getting they get cleaned off, I suppose. But as you can see, pose and bocaux en verre, so it's like bottles and jars, and then you obviously got your bottles of wine and beer bottles, what have you, can go into these bins. So this one here and this one here. Now, I know it's probably much the same in the UK and many other countries. Every Tuesday we get a lot of junk mail. Now, we put it down to, we say that we don't want any part of publicity, so we don't want any we put it on the letterbox, so they don't put it in the letterbox anymore. But we used to get loads of publicity on a Tuesday. It used to be for the local supermarket offers and stuff like that, but it's just a little junk really. And they provide a bin for that, so it's quite handy. So you got the bin for the paper waste as well. I know that many countries have obviously recycling banks such as this one, but I have to admit that every single town and village has one. And this is in Orador-sur-Ver, which is a relatively small town, and it makes perfect sense to me. Anyway, tell me what you've got in your town. Do you have recycling facilities like these? Because we have to take a responsibility, and putting that responsibility onto the councils to actually do the right thing. Sometimes it's not such a good idea, because how to put it? When I was working, when my company was working alongside some recycling vans, trucks, we had quite close relationships with them, and on a Friday one of them was telling us that because they have to make sure that the van is empty, the trucks are empty for the Monday, a lot of the stuff that are supposed to be recycled or go into the recycling centre, that's been collected from people's homes in the little recycling bins, end up in landfill as well with the rest of the rubbish, because there isn't enough time on a Friday to make sure the van's clear for the Monday. The trucks are clear for the Monday. So it's a bit counterproductive really. So we do need to take a lot more responsibility for our own waste, and the best thing we could all do really is stop buying the rubbish in the first place. It's not great. And for instance, as an example, it's not just in the UK, it's also in other places as well, in some countries that aren't so, affluent. So, for instance, when I was in the Caribbean, there's a little place called Boca's Town, and rubbish was literally just piled up, bin bags of rubbish piled up, and then once a week they come, maybe every 2 weeks, they come and collect it. But it just gets burnt. So it's not the way forward, is it? We need to be putting more pressure on these places to do the responsible thing, but also on the individuals to stop buying the rubbish. Buy your food loose. Do we really need a pepper in a flippin' plastic tray? We don't. We really don't. No. And one answer to that is start growing more food yourself. That's what I say. Anyway, tell me what you say. Please leave it in the comments down below. And besides, it's a lovely day. The sky's grey, but the sun is still peeking through, which makes me happy. Yeah, I like the sun. I like it when it's warm and toasty. How about you? Leave that in the comments down below. Okay. I'm going to take the dogs for a walk, so ta-ta. And have a lovely day.